This year, Groundwork San Diego is celebrating Black History Month by honoring past and present Black heroes who have made great strides in increasing equity for people of color in the arenas of public health, environmental sciences, education, and climate justice. We have invited some of the African Americans who serve on Groundwork San Diego's board of directors and members of Groundwork San Diego's leadership team to learn more about them and the roles they play at Groundwork. We also dug a little deeper to find out what motivates them and who are the Black heroes that have inspired them to do the work that they do for their community and live a life of service.
I'm Patrice Baker. I am the Community Outreach Director, and my role is to actually make sure that the information that delivering to the community and the projects we're working on get out to the community. We can get feedback, so we can serve in a way that allows them to save energy savings on their energy bills, to give them home improvements through one of our projects that allowed us to provide rain barrels for them and gray water systems to reduce water conservation. And anything else that we do is promoted through my work in the community. I grew up here. This is my community. And I believe that no matter where I move to or wherever I live, it'll always be a part of me. I grew up in a time where there was plentiful um, resources for our community. There were grocery stores, the schools were thriving, a variety of things were happening, and we had good leadership. As a result, I've also watched that change. And that means that now we have to continue to do the work to make sure that we get the best resources that we can. Oftentimes, we're not really getting the information first. We kind of get it last, and we want to change that. And that's important to me. It's also important to have thriving young people who can continue, continue the work that we started. And so, again, my love for the community and the people in it is again, I'm honored, like AR has said, to be doing this work. My historical Black hero is Zora Neale Hurston. She was one of a kind. During her time, she was an author, she was an anthropologist, she was a poet, and she also talked about the struggle that was happening during that time for Black folks. She used her words through speaking and through books to tell the story of the struggles. She told it in such a way that it it touched your heart because you knew that she was during a time where people didn't always understand where she was coming from, but she spoke anyway. She talked about being with a white family and being a Black person in a white family. She knew somebody was Black, but she didn't know who it was until they took a picture and she started eliminating people in the picture. Oh, okay, wait a minute, then I'm the only one left, But she grew up at a time where, and it was a risk for her to speak out. It was a risk for her to be able to talk about those struggles because nobody wanted to hear that. And then she was falsely accused at one time in her life. And so she had the struggles that she faced and the way she faced them, to me, are just the bravery she showed, the determination she showed. And one of her favorite books that I love is Their Eyes Were Watching God. In one of my college courses, I actually took a portion of the book and kind of rewrote it and paraphrased it into a little story. I got an A on it. And so I was very proud of that because I could really get into the spirit of where she was in that time and where she was speaking from. Coming forward in Black heroes in my life, I'm going to call them, they're the village. And so it starts and ends really with my parents. I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. And so when my sister and I were 6 and 5, respectively, 4.5, our family moved to San Diego. We moved to San Diego because my father was looking for work. Had been in the military, but he was a painter, couldn't find work. So he called his brother who lived here and said, "We're coming on out." He went out first, and then my aunt, his brother's wife, said, "I've got somebody I want you to meet." So when we came and got off the train in 1956, we were greeted by none other than Reverend George Walker Smith and his wife Irene. And they were here, as you know, to found the Presbyterian church called Golden Hill Presbyterian and changed to Christ United Presbyterian Church. That introduction for us changed our lives. Within that church, the village was present through all of the folks. The theme of Presbyterian is education, and we had education. We had educators, doctors, lawyers. We had every profession within my church that looked like me. And we grew up under the influence of people who really got things done. They knew how to do it. They were leaders in their right. They spoke out. They knew how to collaborate and get things done. They knew how to work together. And that showed me a picture of, first of all, use your voice, use what you have. And it's okay to speak out and make a difference. And moving forward in that, and my mom. So my mom and my dad took a role in the church. My mom did as well. But 3 years after being here, my dad died. My mother was left to carry forth, and there were four of us by then. So as she moved forward in her life, coming from having worked in the fields and the crops and all of that, having come from Arkansas where her freedoms were being threatened, both of them as well. Now she was in a new place, and she was surrounded by a village of people that had all the attributes and values that she believed in, and that those that she could instill to us as their children. We didn't always understand it. However, we know now that that's the whole fabric of that, the foundation of that was precious. Many people don't experience that, and that makes a difference in your life. You can kind of tell if you don't have that foundation. um, However, it was based on the Christian values that of hard work and church and education and community and all of these things, helping other people. It didn't matter who they were out to help. My mother would go every year, during Thanksgiving and feed people. And I remember when she was up in age and she was part of a group that provided trips to different places. So either Barona, either the Vijas or the casinos and or Temecula. And so when she did that, she's got this list of people and she's checking them in as they go on the bus. I said, "Mom, aren't you an elder?" So they were for seniors. I said, "Aren't you a senior too?" So, but she carried that forth throughout her whole life of giving and being present for people, for other people all the time, as well as us, our children. And I was able and privileged to be with her in the end. And I was able to learn new things about her. She was a little mischievous, and learn, that some of the things that her foundation was based on, but she never changed it. She presented the person that she was from the beginning to the end, and that's the legacy that I hold dear and hope to pass on as I live.
This presentation was brought to you by Groundwork San Diego, Chollas Creek.